They leave as quickly as they come. Just like in college. But there they are, day by day, helping out in what is an extraordinarily difficult portion of this show. Our own Bill Squire heads that up and makes it look easy. But without the assistance of cartographer Sanchez,
couldn't make it happen.
It could not make it happen. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good.
What can I do for you, Mike?
So we're talking about dead bodies and mausoleums today. It made me think of a story. I went to New Orleans with the wife, and she wanted to do one of the cemetery tours.
Yeah.
So as we got there, we do the tour, and simple question, why are there so many mausoleums around? Well, I guess in New Orleans with the water table and all the flooding, that originally they used to bury people under the ground, but after the storms, there was actually floating bodies throughout the city, so they had to fix the problem. So every cemetery down there all has these mausoleums because the bodies were actually floating after hurricanes and floods.
Yeah, New Orleans is just a giant bowl.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of places like that. When I was in the Virgin Islands many years ago, same thing. Everybody has to be buried in those crypts or whatever above ground because you can't put it. They'll wash away if you put them under the ground.
Yeah. So they originally started that, and they're like, "How are we going to prevent all these bodies from floating around town?"
Although I will say, with all due respect to the families of the deceased, it might have really helped the early days of New Orleans tourism if there was a chance that you could see some bodies floating by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that helps tourism, though.
Yeah. And before I let you go, Mike, let me ask you another question. Do you always call her the wife?
The wife. It's the only one, the wife.
Does she call you the husband?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you, Mike. You know, me and the wife, the old lady...
The old ball and chain.
Ball and chain. That was, I told you about that Japanese guy that married the fictional computer-generated character. He calls himself a fictosexual, which of course means somebody who's attracted to fictional characters or whatever. Not a day after telling you about that, he can't speak with his wife anymore because of a software glitch. Oh boy, I'll tell you what.
Oh, come on.
That's marriage for you.
Yeah.
Oh, we weren't going to be talking anyway, you know what I'm saying? But because he married a fake computer-generated pop star, after I was telling that story yesterday, all these people were texting me like, my kids love that fake Japanese singer. I'd never heard of her, obviously, but that's not made for me. But he can't talk to her because of some kind of software glitch. This is all he got. He said...
There's husbands all over the world that were like, wish my wife had a software glitch.
Yeah! I'll tell you what, man.
That's if you're a guy that can't get it up, that's what you should call your erectile dysfunction.
A software glitch. Yeah. Honey, I got hacked by the Russians.
Hardware malfunction.
Yeah, this doesn't usually happen.
I only got software, no hardware.
Yeah. Boy, you want to talk about a ride or die, or ride and die, I guess. This woman here in Cleveland that I was reading about, a mom of 6, young mom, she's 30, she's got 6 kids. She was killed by her friend's ex because she was trying to help her friend get out of this abusive relationship with this guy. This is, I thought it was in Cleveland. It is in Wisconsin. Okay. A 30-year-old mother of 6 in Wisconsin was killed after trying to help her friend get out of an abusive relationship with this guy, and the guy wasn't having it. So, but just the details of this story. This is a good friend. Now, ultimately, it cost her life and made her children motherless. But she tried to help her friend before get away from this guy, and the guy attacked her with a hammer. And she survived. And still went back in months later to help her friend try to get away from this guy, and the guy came back and killed her. Shot her.
Wow.
That's wild. Wouldn't you just be like, Best of luck to you. Like I
Sorry,
I tried to help. I got
hit with a
Rugrats at home,
hammer.
man. I'm 30. I got 6 kids, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
And last time I got hit with a hammer.
I survived a hammer attack. That's going to be the name of my autobiography, by the way.
I survived a hammer attack?
You nailed it.
Can't touch it.
I nailed it.
No, can't touch it.
That's right. Nailed it. Hammer attack. And the rest can go and play. God damn.
I don't think I would help the friend the second time.
No.
If I got hit with a hammer, I'd be like, bro, I tried. I'll call the cops for you.
Listen.
I can't come back in that house.
Clearly, I know, listen, easier said than done getting
Right.
out of an abusive relationship. I'm not
Right.
diminishing that. But I'm just saying, like, I would be like, I got to take care of my own over here. Oof.
But
Poofa.
the guy's probably in prison now, right?
I think so, yes.
So,
Yeah, or at least being charged with her murder.
in a way, she did get her out of that relationship.
It's
I
true.
guess.
What if the woman just keeps going to visit him
Oh,
in
man.
prison?
Waits for, I'll
Conjugal
wait
visits.
for you.
Yeah.
That's such a scary thing when people are that, like, abused that they really, like, they don't see the whole picture.
Yeah, you can't.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah. You talk about being brainwashed. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it is. You're made to believe that there's no way you will live or function without that person,
Mm-hmm.
be it that you have no one else or they will end your life.
Right.
Like, you know. Some
And
messed
that
up
there's so many
man.
people that are willing to do that to the person that they're with. Like, there's so many abusive people out there
Mm-hmm.
that are just manipulating and doing these terrible things to people. Then, like, when someone's trying to get out of it, they can't just go, oh, maybe I have some problems. Maybe I need to work on myself. They go, no, I have to kill that person or anyone that tries to help them.
Here's what I wonder. Why didn't she just take his hammer and hide it?
How?
She survived the attack. She's
Yeah.
still walking around, right, before he ultimately killed her. You go over there, bing, 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 and you break in and you steal the hammer.
Well, he also had a gun.
She didn't know that at the
That's what
time.
I'm saying. So where does hiding the hammer get her?
Hammer me once,
Shame on you.
shame on you. Hammer me twice, and you can come back and shoot me. He didn't hammer her twice. Hey, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, that tour that Poundcake was talking about at Lakeview, I actually did that with my wife and parents.
Yeah?
It's actually quite fascinating to where if you actually think about how historically significant Cleveland is, the people that are buried there, it's like taking a walk through the Industrial Revolution in a history book. So
Is Elliot
it's
Ness
actually
buried
much
over
better
there?
than maybe what's being made up to be.
Is Elliot
He
Ness?
is,
Yeah.
actually, and so is he is, and Rockefeller and all his family and Garfield, which I know you were talking about. The other thing that I thought was kind of weird is people will actually buy like family plots so their whole family can be buried there, right? Which isn't the weird thing, but I remember this one in particular was a huge Celtic cross. And every year, the whole family gets together and has a big party on this cemetery plot in celebration for whoever's still remaining in the family, which I thought was kind of strange. But it is a pretty fascinating place to take a walk through.
I always thought that'd be a great name for a Jewish cemetery. Family Plots. P-L-O-T-Z. Yeah, okay, I got to get over there and check that out. I appreciate it, David. Thank you.
I do like the idea of all those people that are significant members of history. You know, you got the Rockefellers, Elliot Ness, and then all of a sudden you get to the Mausoleum and it's for Poundcake.
Right.
Hey, listen, he is a prominent member of the Cleveland community.
He invented Throwback Thursdays. So
I just want to be as exclusive as possible with my mausoleum. Like, only people that I like could be buried with me. Not just my family members. Like, I don't like some of them. You got to be nice to me. Otherwise, you're not being buried in my mausoleum.
I bet if you start saving up now, you could have, well, it'd be more like a modest Liam. But I mean, it would be a smaller version of what you're looking for. You can't have anything so opulent that it it kind of has to be commensurate with your standing in society. If there's a former president or, you something a little
What
bit.
about XXX Tentacation? He had a mausoleum.
XXX Tentacation.
He had a
Why
mausoleum.
didn't he have a tent? Huh?
He had a mausoleum. Did you
Right,
see
but
it?
everything in rap is overblown and,
Okay.
Why don't you turn your private jet into a mausoleum?
Because that would take up too much room.
It's your thing though. You want it to be big and
But you have to buy a plot. Like a jet just laying in a graveyard would take.
hang it from a tree.
You don't know nothing about mausoleums, Mary. I'll leave it to the professionals.
Okay.
Tell me to hang it from a tree. You know what optics that would be?
Yeah, that's not great.
I don't know.
Here lies Poundcake. Under this weeping willow.
You
a
know,
weeping willow. So you really want, I think more than the mausoleum, you want the whole thing to evoke constant sadness
Emotion.
in people. You want it to evoke sadness in people at the mere notion of you being dead.
When they get to my section of the graveyard,
section.
there's a bunch of trees all in line, and then at the end of the tree line, you see my mausoleum.
Wow. So you really want it set up like you're a head of state.
And then it has my graduation picture on the
And they're like, wait, what was this guy? This is such a crazy
Right.
setup. They're like, he was a phone screener.
Oh my God, this guy graduated from something?
the picture in my Akron commercial, my Zips commercial. That's what I want. There's 1 second in the Akron commercial that he had, and now it's enshrined forever.
Well, they've got those tombstones with the video screens in them.
That's nuts, man.
You can just have
It plays for eternity.
Well, I don't know if it plays for eternity. I mean, but
No, eternity.
that's a long time. I don't know if they've created a lithium-ion battery that'll last that long, but get on it, Elon Musk.
Wow.
Want to impress me?
You have a video screen. You have a montage of your life.
Yeah. But who would want that, really?
You're just letting everybody know. Like,
That's got to be expensive, man. It was an extra like $400 to add a picture of my dad to his headstone.
yeah, it's
ain't
electricity.
cheap.
Like, you're literally using electricity for nothing. Just
It's
to play
not
a
electricity. Electricity comes from a plug.
If you're playing a video, how do you think?
Yeah, you have to wire it.
Battery
yeah.
powered. Why wouldn't it be battery powered? That's not
But
electricity.
that's gonna die eventually, right?
Switch them out.
You have to have somebody to do that.
Was that-
It's gonna be-
Groundskeeper.
yeah.
But what TV? Like,
Or maybe it's solar powered.
Solar
Oh,
powered,
okay, that
or
can work.
maybe every
it's
person.
wind powered. There's a little.
Little wind farm on top of your grave.
Everybody who visits the grave has to. They have to activate like the people have the under the desk pedals
Yeah.
at work. You got to get on there and pedal
Yeah,
a
you
little
gotta
bit.
pedal
And
a
then-
bit, yeah. Go visit my grave so it doesn't turn off. Also, does it have sound? Because that would be the best. If it was,
No sound.
If it, yeah, there's a
Had
screen
my
play,
reel
and
here.
then you're like, I hear something in the graveyard.
Other
And
people
just-
are solemnly
and
at,
Poundcake going, hey, you a bitch.
yeah at
you a bitch.
other people are like, where is that
It's
coming
mischief
from?
night.
Something is we're over here trying to memorialize our father in another part of the grave. What is that? Where's
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
For the flowers, yeah. Leaving the flowers on the grave.
that's right.
Leave snacks on the steps of my mausoleum.
What is his epitaph?
Hey, I molest children.
Oh, I know who that guy is.
Now I know why he died.
I know who that is.
Man, shut your ass up.
Here lies Cody.
The Poundcake grave headstone soundboard would be fantastic.
Yeah, here lies Cody Poundcake Brown.
Let me watch you poop.
Let me watch you poop right here in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Alan, how about instead of Poundcake's name on his mausoleum, they just put a Chick-fil-A sandwich imprint on the, I don't know what that means, but imprint? Chick-fil-A sandwich imprint.
Yeah,
I do
have
like
a
a-
huge penis. Where the chicken used to, where the sandwich used to sit, what's a Chick-fil-A imprint? Bah!
It'd just be various animal noises that he made while he was alive. Alan, I want to be taxidermied and standing in my children's living room. That's what my dad always said, is that he wanted to be stuffed have Christmas lights put in his eyes and just put in a rocking chair in the corner. If I die before your mother, that's what I want to be in the corner of the living room.
Don't let her tell you otherwise.
Don't let her tell you otherwise. Okay. But Poundcake, how will you entice people to visit? With all this pomp and circumstance around your mausoleum, how will you get people to visit?
Because it would be a gay pride theme. I'd have a little pride flag outside. You know how like...
Well, that's how you'll get your gay friends to visit. But how will that entice just looky-loos to come by?
Well, it'll be I don't know. It'll spray glitter every so often.
Boy, this is a whole...
That's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm creating an economy for my mausoleum.
An economy!
People have to come
It's gotta
by
pay
and
for
maintain
itself,
it.
yeah.
I guess it is.
I'm worth it. Because I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Who wouldn't want to come by? Cleveland staple, gay icon, Cody Poundcake Brown. We went to his grave on a field trip. His mausoleum's cool.
Yeah, did Mary suggest that it should be hung from a tree, by the way?
I was saying
That's what I'm talking about.
I was saying
Jason
the
Gitter.
plane. Like an airplane in a tree.
We know what you meant, but the listeners
we know what
didn't.
you meant.
That's
It's a
what
little-
I meant. Like an airplane in a tree, like it crashed there.
We're going to have to pull you aside.
Jason's gone. It doesn't matter. Ain't nobody to pull you aside now. Jason's last order of business was to chew Poundcake out.
Ain't no.
Do a FaceTime yell at him.
Ain't no.
She's going to walk in. Mary, why don't you have a seat right over there? Set my iPad on the other side of the room. Did you just tell the black men on the show that they want to visit his grave hanging from a tree?
That honestly didn't even dawn on me. I was like,
I
man,
imagine.
maybe it is in poor taste.
And did he call himself the Blackman?
I was like, is it because of the plane crashes?
No,
I was thinking
it's
like
hanging
Lost.
from a tree.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Where else would you put a jet? That's what I was saying.
In the sky?
No. If it's a mausoleum jet, there would be no room on the ground. That's why I suggested the
Well,
tree.
you don't make it to scale.
I was picturing a full size jet.
You make it like an amusement park mini jet that like
Yeah.
toddlers go around.
Let's explore this a little further. Explain the tree.
Like a big ass weeping willow tree, and you put the jet on the tree.
That's still a really big. If it's a what size jet?
Fighter jet. Like the ones you see at the air show.
Those
Like a
are
Russian
big.
MiG or something? Yeah, those
The
are
smallest fighter jet.
Poundcake's tiniest fighter jet.
Maybe the jet could be the mausoleum instead.
I think what's going to happen is because, they had to cordon off Jim Morrison's grave because so many people were defiling it and I guess their own tributes and graffito and having sex on it and this whole thing. Poundcake's just going to have people going out there to poop on the grave. So you can dispense with all this hoity-toity mausoleum business. You're going to have everybody zeroing in
Not
on
me.
that grave. Just take a dump.
Let me watch you poop.
If we bury you in the middle of a rental car parking lot, Mary will happily join that.
Let me watch you poop.
I'm just gonna leave a little pack of sweet Hawaiian rolls.
Now
his
that I could get
bedside.
behind.
It's what he would have wanted. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that cat we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the dude who got killed in D.C. that they propped up in the nightclub.
Yeah.
And half the people there were like, that can't really be the guy's body, can
Weekend
it?
at Bernie's.
Sure.
Doesn't
was.
even seem feasible. Or
What is the premise of Weekend at Bernie's? He dies, but music makes him dance.
No,
No.
that's that. There's like the second one. There's a voodoo spell put on him that makes him dance. No, he dies, and they still have a big meeting, so they have to pretend that he's still alive.
So maybe I've only seen the second one. I thought it was
I think
like
you've only seen the second one.
it
Yeah.
was like they went to go have a house party.
No wonder it was so
and-
hard to follow.
Yeah, I thought it was like we went to have a party at my Uncle Bernie's house, but he died. So instead of calling off the party, they just dressed him up in a Hawaiian shirt like he was still there.
No, it was the first film was such a one-note script, but it unexpectedly did well. So they go, we've got to come up with something for a sequel, and they came up with the dumb. Am I remembering this correctly? It was a voodoo spell.
I never saw the sequel.
Oh yeah, somebody
that's
puts
the
a
only one I
voodoo
saw.
spell on him, and then he dances
Yeah,
when
every
there's
time
music.
the music comes on, he does
Yeah.
the Bernie. Yeah.
Because in the first one, it's two guys that work for him, and they're invited out to his house in the Hamptons,
Maybe that's what.
and they go out there, and when they get there, he's dead, but they want to keep partying, I think. So they're like,
Yes.
well, maybe we'll just
some
pretend like
sunglasses
put
on
some
him.
sunglasses and pretend
Yep.
like he's alive. And Yeah.
Bernie Lomax. I remember that last name in that movie, Lomax. Okay, listen. Again, we've solved nothing. But
I did like the opening scene in that movie where they're walking around New York City and it's super hot, and this guy tries to mug him, and he goes, "It's too hot, a-hole," and just keeps walking.
yeah. Well, sometimes it is too hot in New York to get mugged. Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's and Bernie's too. 4 years apart. Let me break here. I will have another $1,000 for you. 430 is going to be that next keyword for you to go fund yourself. If you want to get to an advanced screening of the new Doctor Strange film, I'll have a couple of passes for you coming back. 1 week from tomorrow is when it opens everywhere. But we're going to do a screening of it next Wednesday night. So I'll hook you up for that. 35192 if you want to text, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox